Alright, everybody, let's watch
And in
this.
this case, it's worse because there was a conscious choice to not turn it over until the last minute. I don't understand that. It reeks of gamemanship.
A suspect accused in a double murder is walking the streets tonight after what appears to be a major mistake made by the Commonwealth's attorneys. Evidence not turned over.
I'm about to spill my secret that's given all of my clients the lips of their dreams. Seriously, I'm talking about plumper, smoother, fuller lips with less lines.
Over until the last minute. You heard the judge there call it gamesmanship. This is Wave News at 6. I'm Brian Schlonsky. Moments in court were so tense the judge even walked out of the courtroom at one point. Today, I talked with a criminal defense attorney who says a suspect like this being released is a, quote, one percenter.
April 2022. Bullet holes, police lights, and crime tape outside Hoops Grill and Sports Bar on Strawberry Lane. It was a gruesome double murder. 2 people shot to death in the parking lot. A year later, David Morales is arrested. He'd spend the next 2 years sitting in jail. Fast forward to this May, a second man, Isaac Castellanos, is also arrested. A trial with the 2 men as co-defendants seems imminent. Then, this week, a major blow-up in court over a recorded interview with Castellanos. The Commonwealth attorneys didn't turn over the evidence for 17 days. The judge...
Okay, so let's try to talk about this case, right? That's a big deal. A murder, a double murder. Okay, well, maybe it was like a self-defense case. You know, maybe there was like maybe it's justified. And then maybe the evidence was scant. You know, maybe they didn't have much, evidence to go on. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's watch this.
Astonished, walks out of the courtroom.
You didn't think you needed to turn over a recorded statement of a co-defendant?
Prior to the trial?
Yeah, prior to the trial.
Prior to the trial, David Morales, no.
You did not think the Commonwealth had a duty to turn over a recorded statement of a co-defendant?
No.
I need a minute.
Okay, so this is a terrible judge. This is a terrible, terrible judge. The guy is going to say that he was going to turn the tape over 1 day prior to trial. What they're talking about is discovery. And you know what the U.S. Constitution says about discovery? Not a goddamn thing. It does talk about, promoting the general welfare. You think that's a good way to promote the general welfare, to let a double murderer go? What about protecting liberty? I mean, the guy needs his liberties protected, right? What about the rest of our liberties? And what about the freedom to not be fucking shot, And then establishing justice. I don't know if she read the preamble. The preamble is the first sentence to the U.S. Constitution, and to establish justice. This is all a balancing act. It's all a balancing act. And so I'm sure there's probably some tiny little rule, nestled in some other, code or rules of evidence or procedure or something. Ethics. Maybe it's the professional code of ethics. Maybe it's her own rules. Maybe she's got her own, courtroom rules. Maybe it's just some bullshit. Who knows? But ultimately, if you're a judge of this case and you just found out that the prosecution didn't turn the evidence over in time for the trial, well, can't they still turn the evidence over right now? Can't they turn the evidence over like at this point in time? Well, why would you say, well, that's it. That's it. We're just going to have to let the murderer go. What do you mean? Because I didn't turn the evidence over in the timely, time limit that I was going to give it to him before a fucking trial. Well, let's keep watching this.
Over and over, Judge Julie Kaelin hammers the table of Commonwealth attorneys. Did they have any good reason for not turning over that recorded statement until the last minute?
I don't see how you can sit here honestly with a straight face and say that you didn't think that co-defendant recorded statement needed to be turned over until the day before trial.
A straight face. I don't see how you could say it with a straight face. Okay, you made a fucking mistake, Goddamn, move the fuck on. But she's just sitting there trying to hammer it on as if it was like the damn Commonwealth's attorney. When I think about the Karen Reed trial, you got, cool Alan Jackson, right? So Alan Jackson is like, well, the cops did a terrible investigation. The cops were probably the one that did the damn murder. The cops did this. The cops did that. And just let my client go. and then ultimately that worked. But the Commonwealth's attorney, he's a little nerdy, a little bit of a geeking out, right? But not a terrible guy. And then ultimately, we're trying to establish justice here. So let's read about this, murder. So they said they arrested a second man. You had Isaac Castellanos, 34, arrested Tuesday. So this homicide happened in 2022. So 3 years ago, right? Well, what happened? David Morales is going to get, arrested later on. So fucking awesome, right? The cops fucking got the damn murderers. I mean, these guys fucking shot and killed people. So that's not an easy thing for the cops to do. They did investigation. They searched. They, put the pieces together. And then they found out, they got to the scene. They found Harris, Boss, Kalo, and Alden Fernandez with several gunshot wounds. Both of them had died. According to the Hoops Grill and Sports Bar owner at the time, the two men were parked in a car in the back of the venue's parking lot when suddenly a red car pulled up beside them. Police said that they were told two people in the red car got out with guns, started firing at the other car, killing one of the men in the driver's seat. The other man tried to flee, but died a few feet away. The owner said he got the entire thing on video surveillance. He caught the entire fucking thing on tape. How, this is such a brazen murder. This is a murder just, out in the open. Not, I don't know if it's daylight or not, but this is such a brazen murder caught on camera. How often do you get a murder that's caught on camera? So they know the two guys who did it. They know the damn crime. They know, was it deliberated? Was it intent? Who knows what the damn thing was about? But thou shalt not murder. Is murder a pretty big crime? I think so. That's probably one of the worst ones, right? Thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not, say fighting words. You shouldn't call somebody a fascist, right? Chaplinsky says if you call someone a fascist, that's fighting words. So you shouldn't call someone a fascist. You shouldn't, take, bubble gum from BP. But murder? That's the creme de la creme. That's the biggest fucking goddamn thing in the world. And so she's like, I don't see how you can say it. Look how big and fat this, fucker is. Look how huge she is. She's gargantuan. And then she's being such an asshole, and then she's acting like this is the most important fucking rule ever in the goddamn history of rules. How about the rule to establish justice? You're not going to establish justice because the guy didn't turn over, he has incredible evidence, and it says the co-defendant. You didn't turn it over for the co-defendant? There are so many fucking rules and case laws that's like contradicting. You got to have a coherent and comprehensive legal and moral philosophy. If you don't have a comprehensive and coherent legal and moral philosophy, then you're just going to allow this stupid-ass technicality. Maybe she's got principles. Maybe it's all about this discovery. Maybe she made sure a murderer stayed in jail because they didn't turn the discovery over or some shit. The discovery. This is so stupid.
My impression was that's so outstanding and so rare that the judge was riled up and had probably never seen anything like that.
Leland Holbert is a criminal defense attorney. He says witness statements are the gold standard, and he can't see how the Commonwealth could let this happen.
For them to say something like that, they didn't know it needed to be turned over, that's ridiculous.
Perhaps even more incredible, Morales, the man who was deemed such a danger that he sat in jail for 2 years.
And then look, I guess this is a nice, stud. And then what? You got this nice little suit here and a nice little suit here. How were they able to get that money? I mean, they probably paid it through their, blood money, right? So, and then look at this guy. This is the police officer protecting all of us. I mean, I don't know if I feel totally safe with this guy right here. I mean, he's just kind of like, dur.
2 years with charges related to a double murder is now out. Judge Kaelin excluding the evidence from the co-defendant's testimony, causing the Commonwealth to then motion to dismiss the case.
Oh my God, how insane. So you caught the damn shit on tape, and then excuse me, I'm getting upset about this. Because jaywalking is the worst goddamn crime on the face of the planet, right? So, for a jaywalker, if you don't have a lawyer, you don't have money for a lawyer, whatever, well, that motherfucker's going to fucking, he's going to pay. He's going to pay for his crime against society. You walked across the street, not at a damn stop, fucking sign, not at a goddamn crosswalk. What the hell is wrong with you? It's all a balancing act. This guy actually goes to the guy's house.
I went to his listed address today, but no one answered the door.
He just got away with fucking murder. You know? I don't know. Maybe not talking to the damn press, you know? Maybe they don't want to do that. But that's pretty brave. That's pretty brave and pretty brazen, you know? If there's one person that tried to get some accountability, it's the press. The judge just fucking flipped out, got all pissy about whatever. Got pissy because he said he didn't know about it, but okay, what if he didn't know and it fucking messed up or whatever? He made a mistake. Okay, I was going to give it, you know, one day before trial, but instead, you know, I didn't do it. It makes me think of that damn, you know, that case, Alec Baldwin case. The prosecution writes up a report of all the discovery, and then there was a bag of bullets that she didn't include because she didn't think it had anything to do with the case. The judge disagreed and then threw the whole fucking case out. The bag of bullets was some guy from another fucking state that wasn't even a part of the investigation. Why would that even be a part? Why would that be a part of the report? So this is just some stupid ass legal loophole bullshit technicality that the judge fucking bought into, and I think it's just Alan Jackson. I don't believe that it has to do with the principals. I think she liked their lawyers better. She liked their lawyers better, and they were like, Judge, with the prosecution, he's got a audio recording of the co-defendant. He didn't turn it over to us. Here, I'll make a fucking copy right now and give it to him. No, it's too late. It's too late. Justice, it's never too late for justice. It's never too late for justice. Two guys got fucking gunned down, you know, they were sitting in a car. Two other guys came up and just fucking fired upon them. Just shot the fuck out of them. Shot and killed them. Now they're dead and gone. And we're just gonna let that shit slide? What the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Holbert says the judge agreeing to dismiss charges on the Commonwealth's motion and freeing Morales is an enormous step that you almost never see.
What it tells me is this is the one percenter, because you wouldn't dismiss charges without a trial.
Morales could still go on trial eventually, with a hearing scheduled this July to determine if the charges will be dismissed with or without prejudice. We'll keep you posted.
So if it's with prejudice, then they'll never bring the charges up again. If it's without prejudice, dismissed without prejudice, that's a soft dismissal, right? All right, we're going to dismiss it for now, but then later on, if the prosecution can hand the evidence over, then we'll go ahead and prosecute the case. This is such bullshit. They caught the fucking guys. The guys are gangsters, right? So who knows what the damn dispute was over. They just pull up to another fucking car and just gun them down, just murdered them right then and there, caught it on tape. So was the evidence just a iota of evidence, paltry? Was it scintilla of evidence? Was it just a little bit of evidence, you know, just maybe some witness who's like, you know, half blind or something, saw something or didn't know the thing, or, well, let's take a, you know, when it comes to truth, when it comes to justice, you need the truth, and the truth is, you know, objective. The truth is the truth forever and ever. So it almost makes sense to me that guy should have actually turned the videotape not over to the cops. He should have made a copy for himself and then for the press, because it would be hard to think that the public would have saw a video like that where two guys in a car jump out of a car and shoot the fuck out of two other fucking guys, and then just say, yeah, that's fine. Hey, that's what we do in America, you know? You work hard, you play by the rules, you get a job, you pay your taxes, and then somebody pisses you the fuck off, you get in your car and you fucking gun them the fuck down. That is horse shit. That is horse shit. And so the fact that this Julie Kaelin just got so upset and so mad and she needs a minute, she didn't have to make a fucking ruling. You know, you could have had another damn hearing or something, or extended the case, pushed the trial back. There was a million other options that she could have done. But instead, she threw the fucking case out. She says that, well, you can't go to trial with that recording now. And then why did they give up on the case like that, you know? Just because you don't have the recording of the co-defendant? Like, what the fuck are you doing now? What are you doing now? Not only do you have, you know, videotape evidence of the two guys fucking shooting the other two guys, you also have them talking about the case. And so therefore they're saying this thing or they're saying that thing. You know, come on. Come on. We know the truth, the objective truth. They fucking shot the fucking guys, and they should pay 2 years in jail. That's all they get, 2 years in jail, and then it's done and over with, and that's it. That's insane. That's insane.
My dad has been.
Okay, that's gross.